Hey, good day. It's Tourism Tim with another episode of Tourism and Marketing TV. And today is particularly special because I get to interview one of the great business executive coaches in the world, one of the most wonderful people I know, who happens to be my wife. This is Sabrina Braham, I'm just thrilled to have you on the show today, Sabrina.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So for the tourism professionals out there wondering, why would Tim have his wife on here? Well, let me tell you a little bit about Sabrina. But first, what you need to look forward to is we're going to cover, Sabrina's going to share some really important, simple and powerful tips to help you be a better leader, a better manager. And that leadership is about not just leading other people, but what about leading yourself? Are you a small business person and sometimes find yourself stuck, not sure what to do? Leading others starts with leading yourself, and Sabrina is brilliant at that. So that's why I'm particularly excited to share this with you today, because to grow your business, it all starts with you as an individual. So can I share a little bit of background about you, Sabrina? Sabrina Braham, my wife, is an executive coach who's been doing this for a long, long time. Focuses primarily on the Fortune 500 space, working with top executives and CEOs, having to do issues with communication, leadership, executive coaching, assessments, trainings. She's a specialist in specifically leadership development. She has a focus on helping women get promoted, which is really cool. Emotional intelligence, adult accelerated learning, which is about the way you learn as an adult to develop new skills in areas where you have gaps. And you know that we cover a lot of that every time I do a show, because I'm always throwing something at you new that, just has some learning. I also want to share that besides being a wonderful person, one of the most well-read people I know, up on the latest trends in communication, leadership, personal development. She's also worked with me on projects and separately from me on project for United States Aid for International Development in the Dominican Republic, helping the teams of people unite and pull together. She worked with my brother Kevin and Baja Air Ventures. Mariah Wilderness Expedition was one of the leading river rafting companies in Northern California, and also does adventure travel in Costa Rica and other parts of the world. So on that note, welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So we're going to jump right into it and share with you some leadership tips that help you be a better leader for yourself, better manager for your team. And also I wanted to share, this is about uniting people that you might work with. This might be suppliers. This might be travel agents. This might be other fellow travel professionals if you're trying to get your destination on the map and attracting more people there. So really, leadership happens in a lot of different ways. So Sabrina, can you share with us a couple of, start off with some 3 things that tourism professionals can do to improve their leadership?
Okay. Well, you just said number 1, because I've thought about this a lot, and I've actually worked with a lot of different travel companies, and one of the biggest gaps that they have to overcome is the belief that this is just the way it is. So just getting clear that of a vision of how you want your company to be, how you want to be in that company, and keep doing the things that improve you and improve the company. An example, I have more than once talked to somebody who tells me they have an employee that is not doing a good job, and they go on and on telling me about this, but they have no plan on how to change that. They just assume that, they just have to put up with this inept, inappropriate person, and they don't do things to make a change there. So that's the first one, is just really be committed to improving your company and yourself, and learn what you need to learn to make that happen. So the second one is really pay attention and get feedback. You want to get feedback on how your customers think your company's doing, feedback on how the people that work for you think you're doing. And when you get that feedback, don't just leave it there, but do something about it and go back to those people and ask, how am I doing? You said I needed to listen to you more. I needed to call you on a regular basis and let you know what was happening. So take that feedback and do something with it.
Before you jump into number 3, Sabrina, I want to interject something because I think what you just said is so important. You talked about not only speaking to getting feedback from your customers, and for those who've watched the latest episode, I talked about TripAdvisor, and there's been quite a bit of discussion about TripAdvisor. People love it or hate it, but at the end of the day, it is a brilliant way to get direct feedback from real customers about the type of experience that you're providing. But often people underlook I call that external customer service and how you show up in your service, your product, your destination. But what you just said is critical, and that is get feedback from your staff, your suppliers. I call that internal customer service. And really, in order to show up externally in an outrageous, incredible way so that people love what your travel offering, you really need to give as much attention, if not more, to what you're doing internally and getting that feedback. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Right, and the other thing about that is all the research says you will increase your profits 5 to 59% if you keep working on that internal customer service. And that's the thing that people don't usually get, is bottom line is you're going to increase your profits, you're going to get much, much better at doing a good job just by improving that internal customer service.
Awesome. What's your third tip to help tourism professionals be better leaders?
Improve yourself. And that means improve your emotional intelligence. And the very basis of that is to be self-aware, know how you're coming across to people, and learn how to listen. You know, I can't remember who said it, but a famous person said, "You want to learn to listen better? Shut up." So learn to be quiet, listen to what other people have to say without thinking about what you're going to say next. Just listen to them. That will make a huge difference in your internal and your external customer service.
And sometimes what people have to say is not exactly what we want to hear or hope to hear, is it?
It's not always what we want to hope they would say or hear. And you can't assume you even understand what that means. So it's really important once they give you that feedback or you listen to them to really make sure you understand what is it they're saying and how does it affect them, which is the third competency of leadership, which is have some empathy, understand where the other person's coming from.
I was reading some feedback on LinkedIn in one of the travel groups that I'm in about a discussion I started with TripAdvisor, and it was really interesting to see the radically different opinions, and it was as if some of the tourism professionals did not want to hear some of the criticisms, some of the comments that people were making. And you know, I've always felt that your best growth is going to come from hearing those comments, those suggestions, the creative criticisms, and yeah, some people are nuts and they're going to just rant. But if you really, like you said, if you listen and you look to see what they're saying, I have found some of the greatest breakthroughs in developing tourism product, enhancing customer service, and ultimately your bottom line has come by listening to people who were less than thrilled and letting them, and they really end up appreciating that you understand that maybe you could have done it better and that you were empathetic and you're committed to making it better, and ultimately some of those biggest detractors become your biggest advocates. And social media empowers us to do that, to have that dialogue, to have that discussion. It's important to be engaged. That's being a real leader of your business, of yourself, and you know the community that we're in. This is awesome, Sabrina. I hate that we only have 15 minutes to do the show, so I'm hoping that you'll come back later.
How much more time do you have?
Well, we've got, let's see here, we've got our timer. We have 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Hit
Okay,
it.
well, I have a comment to make because
Please.
the thing you were just saying is so true. And when I think about, so what's keeping people from getting that feedback, it's how can they handle the criticism. And so let me just address that for a couple minutes.
Please.
To handle criticism, you need to not take it personally. You need to see this as, this is not who you are. Let's get clear about this. You are a wonderful, okay person. You are lovable. And this is just an outside thing that you can change. Okay? So you've got to separate a little bit. Think about it as just feedback that you can change. It's not who you are. You're a fine person already. So you've got to look at it a little differently and approach it a little differently in order to really listen and be able to do something with that. Maybe sometime in the future we can have a whole session just on how to deal with feedback and criticism so that you can handle it better.
And I would love that. And think about if you're managing a team of people, whether you work at a hotel, you're a tour operator, or a travel agent, or whatever, if you're working with a team of people, that handling criticism, how about when sometimes you have to make some suggestions to some of your staff? How well are you leading them in that process? How empathetic are you being with their issues? And how you lead them can have a profound difference of how they integrate it and implement it and in their delivery of their service. And it's often your staff that are the frontline people dealing with the customers. So if your staff's not happy, if you didn't lead them well, especially if you had to correct something, they're not going to show up very happy, and that's going to show up with your customers, and then they're going to make a negative comment on TripAdvisor. And we'd rather do the opposite of them having, outrageous customer service, really enthusiastic staff, and just delivering, great service, and then you get your clients selling for you on places like TripAdvisor and Yelp and Google Places, and audio and videos of happy clients you've gotten your customers, and it just goes on and on. But I digress.
I'm going to get the last word in here.
It's hard.
The thing that you want to remember is this is a muscle that you can develop. So your ability to take criticism and give critical comments to people is something that you can learn how to do, and that will be a great thing that will help you in your business.
And on that brilliant last word, I'm going to say thank you very much, Sabrina. It's been great. I really appreciate it, and let us know if you would like more leadership, management, communication skills tips. I think I could talk my wife into it. As you can see, we have good dialogue on this. Thanks a lot, Sabrina. Take care. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.